Hi guys, so this video is all about Samantha Chapman from Pixie Woo, her brush line called Real Techniques. Now I mentioned in a video, God I can't remember which one, it was a month or two back, where I had sort of planted a little seed of a video that was coming up about brushes, and this was what I was talking about because I was sort of interested in trying it, but I just couldn't find anywhere in Canada to get them. And so I thought, you know what, honestly, I'm actually much more sort of prone to using natural hair brushes. I really don't tend to go into synthetic that much. So even though I really wanted to try, because I'm such a big, huge fan of those gals, and Sam especially, only because I followed her first. Nick kind of came in and I mean, they're just both so lovely, so talented. I love their videos. I watch every single one of them. So I wanted to support her in some way, but I just thought I can't, because I can't get them here. Well, for you Canadian gals, because obviously in the States you can get them at Ulta, you can get them in different websites, but I don't know what happened. I was Googling and I somehow ran across a website called RAVE. I will put the link down below. It's not an affiliate link at all. And they actually aren't really necessarily a beauty website. RAVE, you know, like it's not, it's sort of like health and vegan or vegetarian or organic, and because these brushes are vegan, I guess they decided to take it on, and brilliant. The shipping is fantastic for Canada. It really, because most of the times we have to spend like 20 bucks to ship something. It's ridiculous, but it sort of mid-range is about $6, but if you order, you know, even like $20 or $30 worth, maybe it's 40, I don't know what the cutoff is, the shipping goes less. So you can almost get either free shipping or $2, $4 shipping. When I would only order 1 or 2 brushes, it wound up being $6. So that's the most that I paid for shipping. So it's brilliant. And that way we can all try Samantha Chapman's brushes. So, I've ordered from them multiple times because I actually only ordered 1 or 2 brushes to start with, and I freaking love them so much that I actually wound up ordering more, and then I love those and I wound up ordering more. So I might almost have all of her brushes at this point. I think the brush that I really wanted was, I think it was this one. Anyways, I don't know in what order I did, just know that I've gone back and ordered multiple times because they're that good. Very, very, very soft. So the only thing I will tell you is that certain brushes are only sold in sets. They're not sold separately. That's usually the way most things launch. They'll sort of sell it in sets first, and then as time goes by, they'll sell them individually. So hopefully one day she will sell them individually, but for now, but honestly, they're so inexpensive. Like a kit for 5 brushes is maybe $16, $17, maybe even less, $15. So that's not even the price of 1 really good natural hair brush. So I really don't mind that, and I love the fact that the price is so reasonable that I can support her in that way. And funny enough, in the sets, I just thought, I literally, you know, their brush, the one that she uses for under eye, which is the Deluxe Crease brush, I believe. This one. She uses under the eye for her foundation. You can't buy this separately. You have to buy it in a set, I believe, 5 eye brushes or something to that effect. Everything will be listed in the below bar in terms of how I got them in what set. But so I really thought that I would just use this brush and forget the other 4, but honestly, I've utilized almost every single brush. So even though you think you might not use it, you will find a use for them. So let me start off with the face brushes. So this brush, I don't know if it's the newest, but it's called the Expert Face Brush. I freaking love this brush. I, mother hell, love this brush for foundation application. It's very, very dense and very, very soft. All her brushes are incredibly soft. This just buffs like you wouldn't believe. You know, people say I'm not crazy about this, especially if you keep them in jars like this that I tend to do, all my brushes. I'm not really that crazy about it either, but I actually do love this because this to me is a brush that needs to be washed all the time. I try and wash it every day, if not 2 days is pretty much the max, especially because you're buffing it, so all of those you know, we flake off 1 million sort of dead skin cells a day. So you're buffing that and then it all gets embedded. So I do try and wash these every day, but sometimes I can't. But, you know, second day for sure. There's only 2 applications. And sometimes I just love having that stand just on my little cabinet that I use. That just tells me you have to wash this. So it just stands there. So I really don't mind it for this particular brush. So there's that. The other face brushes, I know that Nick probably uses this buffing brush quite a bit. It's very soft. I mean, my God, the softness of them. I just prefer a really, really dense brush, and this is much more sort of, you know, as you can see with the 2 heads. This is a lot fluffier. This is very, very dense. It sort of has a bit of a rectangular or squared shape. Again, fantastic. You can use it for minerals, foundations, whatever you want. These are great, great face brushes. But those are sort of, oh, and here's another one. The stippling brush. Sorry, I've used some of them. You know, obviously to stipple, and stippling because you're sort of doing this motion, so soft, so fantastic for that kind of motion because sometimes it gets really quite prickly. I've got really hypersensitive skin. So there's another one. You can use that obviously for any of these for different uses, for bronzers, for cream products, for powdered products, blush, highlighters, whatever you want basically. So there's that. Another brush is the multitasking brush. However you want. I tend to use smaller heads, but again, fantastic brush. This brush I used every single day. I had to get multiples of this one and multiples of the Expert Base brush. I think I've got 2 or 3 of these, and I've got 2 of these. It's a setting brush, and you know, I know a lot of people use big powder things to sort of powder their face. I don't use a lot of powder. I only do it where I'm shiny, so I always tended to use small brushes like this. But I use this every day to sort of set powder under the eye, highlighting as well. If I do get a little bit shiny there, I use it just in the T-zone. Fantastic, fantastic brush. So again, I've got a couple of those. Oh, here's another contour brush. Now, in a previous video when I showed the Dior Air Flash, I had mentioned that once I spray it on, just in these areas, it does tend to sort of crease a little bit because it's not a completely flat surface. And I use this brush just to do that. I don't blend it in. I don't use a brush for that foundation, but that's fantastic. Obviously, you can use it to contour your face, yada, yada, yada. Fantastic. Where are the other ones? Okay, eyes. Going on to eyes. So I believe, I guess it's sort of color coordinated. So these were the 5 brushes that I got when I was just going for this one Deluxe Crease brush. Fantastic for under the eyes concealer. Amazing. You're going to really, really love that. This brush, which is the domed eyeshadow brush. I use this to blend out my cream products. So because it's summertime, I tend to use a lot of cream products. So I'm using that to just blend out. You could obviously use it to put it on, do whatever you want with this brush. Obviously, you don't have to listen to me. I'm just sharing how I use these particular brushes. So this I just use to blend out cream products. This base eyeshadow brush. So it's just a little bit narrower. I use this to actually contour the nose. When I do it, I don't tend to do it a lot. If I'm feeling really, really adventurous, I will. If I'm just playing around, I will. I don't tend to do a lot of nose contouring. I just can't make it look that natural. Maybe because I'm so new to it. Some people are fantastic at it, but you know, I just use it to do that with a cream product. So there's that. The next brush is an accent brush. You know, usually I use it for spot concealing, things like that. Actually, what I use is this one the most for spot concealing, and this is called the Detailer brush. And I use that every day to just spot conceal hyperpigmentation, things like that. And lastly, is that yeah, I think, oh no, I've got one more. This eyeliner brush. Whew, the Pixel Point eyeliner brush. So it's not really super pointed, you know, and fine and detailed that I, you know, want to use it for an eyeliner. I don't use gel, I don't use liquid. Very, very, very rarely do I use anything but a pencil or shadow. And so I thought this was really going to be a completely useless brush to me. I was like, I can just toss it. I was actually going to give some of these brushes away because on first sight I thought, what the hell am I going to use that for? But funny enough, this I use to highlight the Cupid's bow right there. It has enough flex that it just right there. And if you ever want to, whoops, right there or right there to highlight, well, not really your whole brow, just right about there. I don't tend to highlight my brows. I mean, I just got too much space. I mean, look at that mother hell space. What are you going to do? It's like a football field. It's like too much to work with, people. I wish I had much sort of smaller gap there, but it's just a lot. I mean, you have to be so adventurous to think of what the hell you're going to do up there. So I don't tend to highlight that area. You can kind of see my brow well enough because there's like that much space in between. So I don't tend to do that, but for the Cupid's bow, I'm really, really, really loving that. And inner corner, if you're doing little light highlights, and even outer, not so much inner, but you know how the honky people, and I say that with love, totally with love. I hope you don't take it as a derogatory statement, but for you Caucasians out there, that inner highlight works wonders because you have a bridge and you have shadow. We're flat, usually. Asians are flat. So sometimes when you put that thing there, it's sort of like, why are you doing that? You don't need it. I mean, you're just following what other people do, but your face shape is completely different because we're flat there. We don't have a shadow from the bridge of our nose. So, but sometimes I just want to be part of the fold. You just kind of want to try it out. I have done it, and when I put a dot of that and then sort of do this, you don't see that as makeup. You just see a little bit of a brightening. So I don't like it when it's just like so apparent there that you just have like two globes of white or, you know, reflection right there. But I've used it for that and sort of the inside there. And lastly is her pointed foundation brush. Now this came in one of her sets. I use this every single day. And when I saw it first, I thought that is completely useless. Who the hell uses a brush like this for foundation for their entire face? It's so thin and flat. It's so tiny. I have one huge melon of a face. I mean, it's just, I mean, look at me. How many strokes do I have to do? And the more strokes you have to do, the more sort of demarcation. I know that she's brought out another one of these foundation paddle shaped things. This came in a set. I don't know which set. Maybe it's sort of one of these Goldie sets. And I thought, oh my God, this brush is completely useless. And of course, this turns out to be the one brush I use more than any of them. And the reason why, I use it for cream blush. Now you might think, well, it's pointed and your cheeks are round. I don't necessarily draw it on with the point. I kind of do this, just in the circle and then blend out the edges like that. And I don't get that sharp edged point. It's not like I've got tons of little triangles on my face. Somehow it all works and it's got the flex. It's like a finger. It really is sort of, well, look at that. It's kind of shaped like my finger. Because that's the way I would put on cream products, but I just get so much more control and blendiness from this brush. And this is the brush I was talking about with the Bobbi Brown in particular. Her lip cream colors or whatever in the little pots. I found that formulation quite hard to work with if I'm just using my fingers. It really is very, very tacky. It's not really creamy. It's quite sticky. It takes quite a bit to sort of move around. I was going to give it away and I resurrected it because of this brush. I can use that now almost every single day. Same with the Corez, cheek butters as well. Any cream cheek product I use this brush with. Honestly, if she sells them as singlets, I would get multiples of this. The one brush that I thought was the worst in the collection is actually the one that I kind of use the most. So There you have it. There's my whole Samantha Chapman collection. There's quite a few here. Whoops, sorry guys. Yeah, I'm like bashing you around. So yeah, that's the whole kit and caboodle. I keep them all in this particular one, and they're fantastic. I really can't rave enough about them. Would I completely change my whole collection to these? No, obviously not. I'm kind of really, well, I won't say obviously, because you obviously could, especially if you like vegan, non-natural hair brushes. These are all you would need. I wouldn't even bother going to Eco Tools, although I think this is part of the Eco Tools umbrella. I mean, I think that's the manufacturer that Sam works with, but don't quote me on that. So if you want synthetic, you have something, or you're not comfortable using natural hair brushes, that is fantastic. For me, it's such an amazing complement to my brush collection, which I've sort of now all gone into kind of Hakuhodo and Shu and Laura Mercier, and well, you know what, that's a whole different video, but I will never get rid of my natural hair brushes, but because I use so many cream products, especially in the summer, I use almost virtually all cream products. I love having these brushes, and I reach for them every single day. I literally use one of these brushes in combination every single day, so I can't rave enough about them. I think they're just fantastic. And now we Canadians get to partake of the festivities. So Herb, I've ordered probably 4 or 5 times just for her brushes, because I've just loved them so much, and great. I've never had any problems with them. Really fast shipping within a week in Canada, whereas most of the times I have to wait 2 to 3 weeks to get a product. So that's great, and the shipping costs are fantastic, and I've yet to deal with their customer service because I've never had a complaint, I've never had an issue. So yay! Thanks for all of you for watching. Hopefully that's helped some. For those of you who've always wanted to try Sam's brushes, now you can, and it's not going to cost you an arm and a leg. They're really reasonably priced. So if you need more information or would like to see more of a comprehensive review, which I really can't imagine because this video is 17 minutes long, let me know either way, and I will try and answer as best I can. Thanks so much, guys, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.